Mr. Tyler, welcome. Thank you for joining us from the aviation conference today. Let me begin by, first of all, asking you, yesterday Boeing said that it sees the number of pilots needed in the world doubling in the next 2 decades, and it does point to Asia as the biggest growth region. Is that something that you would agree with, and how do you think Cathay is placed to make the most of that expansion?
Yes, to be honest, I can't be. It's up to Boeing to estimate those big numbers. All I know in Cathay Pacific is that we certainly are going to be recruiting and training more pilots as we go forward, as our fleet expands. We train a lot of pilots ab initio. We recruit people who've never flown before, and we teach them to fly. But we also recruit experienced pilots as well.
Now, you're over there at an environmental conference, and of course jet fuel is a very substantial part of the cost of running your business. Just how important is it to you to get more environmentally friendly engines that use less fuel, or indeed that use biofuels?
Well, yes, I mean, jet fuel is very important for the two reasons. Obviously, it's a very high cost, so reducing it is good for our business, but also it's imperative that we become more efficient so that we can be more environmentally friendly, more environmentally responsible. So we're investing in new fleet. We're working with governments to help shorten air routes so that we can use the airspace more efficiently and waste less fuel. We have implemented carbon offset schemes. Our passengers can offset their emissions, and we're trying to operate our whole airline as efficiently as we possibly can.
Is this one of these cases, these happy cases, I suppose, where actually both the commercial business sense and the environmental aspect are really on the same page? Both areas want the same thing, and that may lead to hopefully more and quicker developments?
Well, yes, it does, but of course also the airlines wish to grow their businesses. We don't want to have to stand still or go backwards, and the world wants us to grow. The world wants to travel. That's why we exist. So what we have to do is to reconcile the growth with the need to be more environmentally friendly. And we have proposed as an industry quite challenging targets that we believe we as an industry should be made to reach, and we can reach, providing we've got the right incentive structures and the right institutional framework for managing emissions in the aviation space. Now, what we want to happen is for governments and the UNFCCC in particular to adopt this programme and to, as it were, impose it on us.
Now, in terms of jet fuels, the price has actually been fairly stable over the last year. But how much of your company's jet fuel price is hedged going forward, and what are your thoughts on what will happen in 2011?
Well, we don't make forecasts about jet fuel. We hedge fairly conservatively now. We got our fingers burned a couple of years ago when we were doing it a little bit differently. But the amount that we hedge going forward, we have something like 30% hedged for the next few months. Obviously, that amount varies. The most important hedge that we really have, the most important protection we have against a spike in fuel prices is the fuel surcharge that we put on tickets and on cargo shipments, and that's really the most effective way that we cover ourselves against a spike in fuel prices.
Now, Cathay and Air China are due to start an air cargo business together. I know there's been a bit of a share swap as well recently. Would you consider further ventures together?
Certainly. I mean, our partnership with Air China is a long-term strategic partnership. We do a lot of things together already on the passenger side. As you say, we're soon going to be launching our joint venture cargo operation, but there's a lot of other opportunities we have to work together. And as time goes on, given our cross-shareholding, it's clearly in both our interests to help each other improve our businesses. And that's what we're going to do in any way that we can as we move forward.
And does Cathay, through Dragonair, plan to fly to more destinations in China?
Yes, the mainland China market has really picked up a lot this year, and we're seeing load factors on our Dragonair services to the mainland jumping significantly. This obviously raises the opportunity of mounting viable services to more points in mainland China, and we're certainly having a good look at where we might fly to next. But the priority really is to beef up frequencies to the existing points so that we're really serving those markets well and connecting them with our hub in Hong Kong to the worldwide.
Sure. You've just ordered 30 new A350s. What routes will you be deploying those on?
Well, the first delivery won't be till 2016, so obviously we'll have to take stock of the situation as we see it then. But the intention now is that those aircraft will be on long-haul routes, mainly to Europe, but also possibly to North America.
And what is your outlook for cargo for the next year? It's often a good bellwether of where the industry is going.
Certainly all the signs are that the recovery in the cargo market is going to continue. And what we're hearing from the freight forwarders and the shippers is that they want space. They want us to commit to giving them space in the months going forward. So certainly it does look as if we're in for continued strength in that particular market out of China.
Mr. Tyler, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.